This game is getting, well, it's been out of hand for quite a while. Now it's left of hand, and GGs are called.
God.
It is playoffs, day number 2 of the PGL Arlington Major, and I am so excited to see how the matches pan out today. I'm going to be your host, Natty. Joining me on my left-hand side here is Sheep, Gods, and Lizard. How are you guys feeling? It's elimination day for some teams today.
Horrible, horrible, so sad. My 2 favorite teams are about to play against each other and one's going home. So.
Yeah, you're going to have to say goodbye to one of them. How about you guys?
I feel great because I love watching teams get eliminated. It's the fun part of DOTA events. I want to see the pain, the suffering, you know? It's good.
I was not expecting that.
It's a little bit of both, right? Like one of these teams is going to qualify for a TI, the other one is getting eliminated, so I love all of it.
Yeah.
These are sadistic, horrible people over here.
A bit of heartbreak.
I'm going to start crying on the panel.
We're going to get to the end of this series, and it's just going to be tears everywhere. But let's have a look at the bracket, because like I said, it is day of playoffs, day number 2, which means that we had some action yesterday. It was the upper bracket. We saw LGD taking that first series, OG taking the second, Spirit taking the third, and then Aster taking the 4th series of yesterday. It does mean that we are now moving towards the lower bracket. So like I said, elimination day for these teams on your screen. It's Boom Liquid for that first series, Entity, EG for the second, Outsiders, RNG for the third. Do you guys want to give your predictions on panel how this day is going to go out, which teams we might say goodbye to?
All right.
Hesitantly.
Who opens up?
Yeah, you don't have to. I'm just saying you can. This is the chance.
Okay.
You can either look like a Giga Chat or an asshole.
Wow.
All right.
Liz is ready. He's got it.
Okay.
I have one wild prediction at least.
Okay.
I'm predicting Entity to go through in that second series.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the wild one. The other one's RNG and most likely Liquid.
Okay. I want to know why you're so certain about that Entity one, though, just very quickly.
NA DOTA.
All right, so realistically, though, EG have had some very strong-looking games, and I actually do believe in their ability to make this, like, bracket run through the lower.
Yeah.
It is rough, it is scary, but they are a team that have gotten second at majors multiple times in a row. Like, when they turn up and are geared on, they are a good team. So hopefully they've just gotten like the mental reset to kind of reach that.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about Entity potentially going through. I want to have a look at the DPC standings at the moment, actually, because Entity is one of those teams that it doesn't really matter if they get through or not for them personally as to if they qualify for TI. There's just not enough points up for grabs here for it to really impact their standings. But compared to how we came into this major, we have a lot more teams having direct qualification to TI. We are adding Spirit to that list, Aster to that list, Beastcoast, and also Tundra now, and the remaining teams still in this tournament that are looking to pick up points are Boom, EG, Fnatic, Liquid, RNG, and Outsiders as well.
Dude, imagine chatting up, coming to the major, coming last place, and then qualifying to TI.
That's
exactly
a
what Tundra did, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
They were literally bottom, and they still got TI.
Thanks, guys. Yeah.
He just had to spell it out.
I was like, didn't that happen?
Yes, it did. Well done. Good boy. 10 points for Gods.
Excellent. We're doing point systems for this morning panel.
Maybe he can qualify to TI by the end of the panel.
Holy heck,
How many points do I need to earn?
For your
Can I just be a terrible panelist and still qualify the same as Tundra? Does that work?
Well, you did a really bad job pre-major, so you're not quite there yet.
I was, you know what, we're just all just, maybe we're a little bit aggressive on this panel this morning, but the other thing that I want to talk about is versatile heroes. You know, there's been a lot of picks coming out from these teams, but the ones that I feel are really important, and I want you guys to talk to me a little bit more, are Coddle, Snap, Alk, Doom. We've seen each one of them in at least 4 different roles throughout the major itself. Coddle being played 2, 3, 4, 5, whereas Alk is being played in the 1, 2, 3, and 5 position.
But even just as you look at the graphic, you can see a huge disparity between 2 and 2, right? The first 2 win rate 60%, the last 2 41 and 29. So you could argue that some of them are broken, and that's why they're being played anywhere and everywhere. And the other 2, well, Alchemist is actually all right. I take that back. I think Alchemist It's pretty strong. The problem with Alchemist is that it needs to be a really good game for him, and sometimes it isn't, so he gets demoted to that position 5 or the offlane, and he brings a completely different thing on that position 5 and on the offlane, right, than he does on the carry.
I want to nerd out about the Snapfire. I hope we have enough panel time for this.
We honestly, you guys can talk about all 4 heroes. We have enough time.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Go Snap.
I love Snapfire as a hero. The versatility that players bring to this hero is so cool. So like on the mid lane, this tournament so far, we've seen Chris Luck play it on Beastcoast. But like notably for me in the past, Yopaj on Boom has played a fantastic mid Snapfire. Usually he goes like this Boots of Travel build and will just like rotate to his side lanes every time he has ult and like try and get that impact there. And then you get like your Blink, your Shard, and you're able to have all this impact. It's awesome. And then on the off lane, you see players like Sacred from Tundra Awaken playing it. And a player like Sacred is really good at outplaying his opponents in lane just mechanically. So like he makes the hero work so hard. Like Snapfire is such an aggressive mid when paired with other heroes. So usually you do see her more favored to that side lane. And that's why you'll see her on support. You might see her on the core. I think Sacred even buys like the Ags, which is super fun for me because a lot of people have just been going that like Blink Shard bad. Yeah. So oh my god, I love the versatility of Snap. I think she's one of the most fun heroes in Dota to watch.
Oh God, do you get the choice of either the Coddle or the Doom now that hasn't been talked about?
Sure, I've been having a rough morning, so I'll talk about the hero that's having a rough tournament, Doom. I think coming into this tournament, everyone was kind of fooled by Doom because he'd been doing really well. 2 teams particularly, it was 23 Savage on Talon as well as Pure playing on Entity, had been doing a lot of safe lane Doom and having a lot of success. So I think there was this kind of idea that Doom could kind of maybe be this flex hero. It's not. It doesn't work. I think teams are kind of going back to realizing that, you know, you got to pick Doom in the right games. It needs to, you need to like get some value counter-saying with the Doom, and you have to cover the hero's weaknesses. It takes a while to come online. It needs a bit of farm. Doesn't have any stuns. I don't think you can
That's
just...
That's a lot of problems I'm hearing.
Yeah, I mean,
that's why it had the win rate it did.
You can play Doom. You just probably can't first phase the hero.
Can't win, yeah.
And if you're going to pick it, you need to make sure you cover those weaknesses because it seems like teams are just picking Doom, just like, oh, we need a carry. Let's Doom carry's good. It's not just, you can't just Doom carry any game.
Yeah, some of these teams like Entity definitely, like Parker said, can pull it off on that carry, but that's because of the whole idea, the whole idea of how their team works, right? Like they have these 3 semi-cores and they help each other out. You can't just always pick that Doom.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it played yesterday, Doom, on Saberlight, but it didn't actually feel like he was playing it as a carry, right? Even though he's in that quote-unquote role, it just wasn't played traditionally.
And he's quote-unquote carry as well, right?
Yeah. Quote-unquote. There's a lot of quoting going on in this.
And they're the team that's meant to be good with like the carry Doom, and even them, like in the group states, they weren't winning their games with the safe lane Doom. So like if Entity's not winning with it, then it's probably not that good.
All right, because we have a little bit more time, you guys can say your preference for each position you like those 4 heroes. Where you think it excels the most and where the most wins have come from.
The first one is the Kotl.
Yeah.
I suppose mid lane is probably the strongest position. Perhaps the win rate isn't that like higher than the other positions, but that's because he's played the most on the mid lane. When it comes to the Snapfire, I completely agree with Sheep. I love the Snap mid. It can do a lot with the travels, but I'd rather prefer it on the support position. Because at some point you just don't scale as much as some other heroes. What else is there?
There's the Doom and the Alk.
Doom and Alk. That's 4 heroes, too difficult for
Save some for the rest of us, bro. Like, oh my god.
Aren't we all doing everything?
We'd just be repeating each other at that point. I kind of
go with Alk. Go.
You just agree with everything that's said so far.
I like the Alk on the carry usually. The off lane, I've seen it be played a fair amount, especially by 33. And you just go the same build as the carry, except like in a worse position from the off lane because you have less space. It doesn't seem as good. It definitely seems better on the Dire, obviously, because you can connect those camps together. So like for him, he is like side dependent. He's better or worse too. So
does that bother you that offlane alchemists are going Radiance, BKB, Blink? Wouldn't you rather see like an Aghanim's game with, I don't know...
and you give the Ags and you have like 4,000 net worth for 20 minutes,
You can still start with the Blink Dagger. Into the Chinese region, that's what they're doing. Like they get the first item and then they go for the Axe.
Yeah, I just haven't seen enough of it. I think the times Alex and I saw an offline Alka was KP on Talon and it was a disaster.
Oh yeah, he had
position 11 Alchemist.
I was going to say he had lower net worth than the +5.
He actually did. Yeah. It was so sad.
Rough.
It was, and then when you asked him afterwards, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we've used offlane Alk against some of our scrims against China, and it's always worked against the Chinese teams." Comes in, uses it for SEA, and I'm like, he's gonna pick that again.
Yeah, SCA is like, what the hell is this fancy beat bullshit? Like Alchemist offlane, we're gonna run you over. In the China, they're methodical. They're like, okay, they have Alchemist mid. We need to practice. We need to figure out